Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Thunder Today YouTube channel. I am your host, Dylan Hibbard, and in today's video, it is Friday, so it's more of a laid-back video. So we're going to kind of go over some Summer League stuff happening this weekend. The Thunder start their Summer League action tomorrow, actually, and we'll kind of get into that. We'll talk about the Thunder's top player, who people will be watching the most on the Thunder's Summer League roster, Nikola Topic. We'll talk about who might be the biggest threat to the Thunder in the Western Conference this next year, and then we'll kind of give you a recap of this week in case you have missed any videos as well. But Summer League action will start for the Thunder this Saturday. They will be playing the Memphis Grizzlies on Saturday, and then they will on Monday play technically an away game. Saturday is home against Memphis. And then Monday will be on the road against the 76ers, and Tuesday will be on the road against the Utah Jazz. And then they will play Thursday against the Brooklyn Nets. They will play Saturday as at home, technically, against the Pacers. On the road Tuesday against the Magic, July 15th, excuse me. And then Wednesday, July 16th, they will play their final game against the New Orleans Pelicans. So, bunch of little different teams there. Quite a few teams that had some pretty high draft picks, so it'll be cool to see those players kind of play and kind of see how they react to their first kind of action of NBA play. But yeah, I just Summer League will start up soon, so we'll kind of see how the Thunder's rosters. Their Thunder signed an undrafted player and added them to the Summer League roster, so we'll see if he will be able to make any noise out of Summer League, and we'll see if he's able to earn his way to a contract possibly on the G League team. But first up, we'll kind of talk about the person that people will probably be watching the most if you're a Thunder fan. Now that the Thunder have won the championship, now everybody's kind of celebrating. Now we're looking ahead to the next year. And one of the big pieces of the team next year is Nikola Topic. And he was the 12th overall pick last year. Obviously, most of you should know by now he was projected top 3 to 5 before he went down with an ACL injury that took him out of all of this year. So those teams up top weren't wanting to do that, who were needing talent right away, and the Thunder were able to sit there at 12 and let him fall and know that they were in a situation where they could let him recover, and then come this time where we're at now, have a guy who is essentially hopefully replacing Josh Giddey in the sense of hopefully a great ball handler besides Shea, somebody who can take the ball and kind of run the offense, somebody who will come off the bench, who can attack the rim well, and just kind of fit right into that Giddey role. Obviously, he won't start or make major minutes off rip, but if he continues to go, he'll get into that bench rotation and be that ball handler off the bench where he can rack up those assist numbers, especially off the bench, and get into the lane and score that way. So I'm very excited to see what Topic has in store for all of us. I'm like we know, Thomas Sorber won't be a part of the Summer League. He's dealing with an recovering from an injury at the end of his season with Georgetown. Nothing serious there, just kind of recovery and safety basis. And the second round pick, Barnheiser, will be a part of Summer League, so we'll get to see him play right there alongside Topic and those other guys. So just something to kind of look out for if you're not doing anything this July 4th weekend. If you're missing that basketball feel, kind of go watch those games, see what Topic is doing, and kind of what the future, these younger guys that are coming in behind your Shea, J-Dub, and Chet, who could possibly become role players a few years down the line where we need them on cheap contracts, and if they play more than what they're valued at, that just becomes even more assets the Thunder have and can move around and kind of fluctuate with their roster in that sense. And now we'll kind of talk about who I personally think are the one or two biggest threats to OKC this upcoming year. We've seen a bunch of moves made from the Rockets, Nuggets, the Lakers added DeAndre Ayton. You've had moves from teams out east like Milwaukee and all of that. And for the Western Conference, I think I think there's 5 teams, and I think after those 5, everybody else is kind of in it's kind of everybody else in the top 5, but in a sense, it's OKC gap, and it's I think Houston, Denver gap, or Houston, Denver, Minnesota small gap, Lakers gap, everybody else, and I think Houston and Denver are without the 2 other best teams in the West. I think but I think Denver's more of a threat to OKC than Houston is at now. At just the point of we know Denver pushed OKC to 7, and it came out yesterday that Lou Dort said that the games that they were who gave the Thunder the most trouble. He said that Denver obviously pushed them to their max, and in Game 4 of the finals, that game where the Pacers pretty much choked the finals away with that game. They said they were kind of shaking a little bit, but obviously was able to come back and win that. But in a sense of, I think Denver has the championship pedigree, and I think the fact they were able to turn Michael Porter Jr. into a cheaper contract, and personally to me a better player in Cam Johnson. Yeah, you gave up a pick, but that's 7 years down the line. You'll worry about that when you get there, type thing. You brought back Bruce Brown, who was a cornerstone piece in the title team that won it back 2 or 3 years ago. So you're able to get him back. You got center depth in Jonas Valanciunas, where in these regular season games, Jokic isn't having to play so many minutes. So when it does come time to the playoffs, and he does have those grueling 7-game series like he does against OKC, he's more well rested up in the regular season compared to having to play more in the regular season to get wins to get to where they were in the playoffs, and he already be gassed because the Nuggets have no bench. So you're adding those pieces and just continue build around Jokic. And I mean, when you have the best player in the league, you're already in a spot where you're in that championship-esque territory, and you just kind of have to build around. And I really like what the Nuggets have done so far this year. I think the Rockets could very well be right up. I think they're right behind them. The Rockets are younger. They got taken out by the Warriors in 7 games in the first round. So not mad about that, but that Warriors team was definitely not better than them at the time. But you were able to place Jalen Green and pretty much Kamal Mulak for KD. You replace Dylan Brooks for Dorian Finney-Smith. You bring in Capella, so they have the right pieces. They have Reed Shepherd coming back. Hopefully, he can get more playing time and kind of get going as a shooter this year compared to not getting much this past year. And I just think those 2 teams are the 2 biggest threats to OKC at this point. I think Minnesota hasn't done enough. They've re-signed. They've actually lost Alexander Walker, so they're actually weaker at this point. They haven't done anything to make me think that they're going to be a threat to OKC again, especially seeing OKC handle them in 5. And then obviously the Lakers, you never know what you're going to get from the Lakers on a night-to-night basis. You know what you're going to get from LeBron and Luke on the offensive end. What is this team going to do defensively? Will Ayton make that big of a difference in the center room for rebounding? But we'll have to see. We might be feeling different come playoff time. We might say the Lakers scare us the most. But to me right now, early in the offseason for next year, I think Denver and Houston are without a doubt 1A and 1B in who are the biggest threats to OKC at the end of the day. And I think most people would agree. And I mean, it's just the fact that the West, you have those 5. One of those teams will not be getting home court advantage at all. Like, they will be playing on the road in every single series, which is crazy because you also have teams like Memphis, San Antonio, Golden State, the Clippers. Like, the West is so deep, so it's not going to be easy for the Thunder to repeat. And I think that it's going to be very hard to get back to the finals, but I think once you get there, you have to kind of like your chances of whoever you go up against in the East, whether it be Cleveland, New York, a chance for the Magic, the Hawks, maybe the Bucks do something, who knows, but it just feels like the Western Conference Finals next year is going to be the NBA Finals because the East is so weak, at least to me it is. But then we'll kind of recap you on this week. Free agency started. There was a bunch of different moves. The draft was a week and a half ago, so kind of learning about a bunch of those different draft prospects getting into free agency. The Thunder traded Dylan Jones to the Wizards for some draft stuff to move some roster spots around for those two rookies. There's been rumors about whether the Thunder will move guys like Ousmane Dieng for more assets and picks down the line just because of roster spots, and the Thunder are just so deep that you have to kind of trade these players for more assets because you can't play all 13, unfortunately, and allow all 13 to develop and all that. So Ousmane Dieng is very likely trade candidate. Shea got nominated for Best Male Athlete of the Year in the ESPYs. We're not sure if he won at this point coming out in the video. Hopefully he has. But, I mean, just kind of a quick recap. Free agency started this week, so there's going to be more moves as we go on. The draft stuff, and now we got Summer League this weekend and for the next 2 weeks or so. That'll be fun to kind of talk about and look over some of the rookies and incoming sophomores that will be fun to watch and kind of see who develops. But that'll be it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.